Welcome back to Seen It Before. We're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
I'm Dan, and it is time for, I think, your most anticipated movie of the year, correct?
Yeah.
Or it was up to this point.
It was, yeah, because, well, now I think my most anticipated is going to be Weapons.
Well, I'm very excited for Weapons, and I think we're going to have to do an episode on that now. Anyway, but yeah, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Part 2 of Dead Reckoning, but not in name. Yeah, so this movie had a $400 million price tag going into it.
Oof. That is not a great number for a budget.
Yeah, it's $109 million more than Dead Reckoning cost. So that's kind of scary. That's gonna and when we get into the meat of this, it's pretty telling, but not in a good way. Let's get to it.
So, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is directed by Christopher McQuarrie once again and starring, you guessed it, Ving Rhames.
And you also guessed it,
Simon Pegg.
See, you guessed it.
Yeah, I guessed it.
Guessed it. Anyway, a Tom Cruise production. So this is the second one, I believe, is a Tom Cruise production. I mean, Skydance, isn't that his studio?
Oh, yeah, no, he's been producing them since the beginning, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So he's just saying that because, ego. All right, cool.
Yeah.
We know how it is with
this is his franchise at this point.
He is the last big movie star, as a lot of people tag him as, and for good reason. He makes good movies that people want to see, good action movies. I mean, he's been doing it for years.
30 years, bro. 30.
Well, for this franchise, 30 years.
Well, technically 29 because 1996.
No, you're right.
We want to be accurate.
I should know that. That's the year I was born. So, anyway. What? You call me old?
Oh, I didn't say anything. What are you talking about?
Okay. Yeah, so let's get into our compliment sandwich while we're at it. So one good thing, one bad thing, and one good thing about this movie.
So for the compliment sandwich, I think there are some really good action scenes, obviously, in this movie. Tom Cruise did his stunts. I definitely think that the submarine one is the way it builds on top of itself. It kind of like the stakes build more and more and more. The bad thing, oh my God, holy exposition Batman. The first hour and a half, I want to say, is literally, I don't think I counted a single line that isn't just, this happens if we do this, and then this doesn't happen if we don't do that, and the stakes are this high, and like, just show us, just show it it's like rule number 1 for movies, like show, don't tell. Another good thing though, I think they did a very good job at maybe wrapping up Ethan Hunt's story. I think, in the grand scheme of things, they don't exactly say this is the final reckoning. Oh, for Ethan, it's the last thing. It's the biggest thing. It's more like this is just what he does. And if we don't see him again, because this franchise has been around for 30 years, Tom Cruise is getting kind of old, I'd be okay with it.
All right. And for my compliment sandwich. All right, let's start with one good thing. One good thing about this movie. Tom Cruise, still at his best 30 years later. He is the focal point of this movie. Well, actually, no. I mean, he is and he isn't. But he still knows how to make a very compelling action movie. Actually, I shouldn't say compelling because this is going to lead to my next point because it's a convoluted fucking mess of a movie. And like the exposition, as you said, holy exposition Batman, it is a mess. Okay. And one more good thing about this movie. I really liked both of those last 2 action sequences because the plane and the submarine, those are huge set pieces and they take a lot of time to do, and they pulled it off. Like, yeah, sure, it may have been a little convoluted at some points, and like, oh, you got to get this down to the second. It's like the blink of an eye. It's wild, but it's still fun to watch, and the tension is there, and nobody else can do that. Now that we're getting into spoilers, all right, so let's just quickly talk about some of the things we need to talk about before we get into like going through the movie. Okay. So the exposition dump, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. Like it was a whole hour and a half of the movie, man.
Something happened with the writing in this one. And also specifically because we know that this was supposed to be a part 2. They teased some very specific things in part 1 that did not come to fruition or weren't even explained at all. Like, who the hell's Gabriel? We still don't know who Gabriel is. We don't know what his, like, that past thing with that little flashback with how Ethan got involved in the IMF. Like, that was so set up so clearly in the first one. We do not get any explanation of that in this movie.
Yeah, Gabriel just kind of plays off like a bad Bond villain. Like he's just and like what he was terrible in the first one and in part one, and like
because like there was like the promise,
not
like
any better in this.
We're gonna explain why he's important to the entity in this one. We don't know anything about him. We just know he's the antagonist.
I mean, can you say he's the real antagonist, though? Because it's very gray to see who's the actual antagonist in this movie between the entity, him, and Kittredge, I guess, even. So, like, I mean, there's no clear villain. Yeah,
well, that's what I loved about, at least it was more clear, the unclearness of the villains. Like, we understood, like, everybody's motives in the first one. Like, because, like, and then we saw Palm Clemente just change sides. And like I like that, like the way that it kind of all came together. We understand where Cary Elwes was. We understand Kittredge wants to follow the rules. We understand Shea Wiggum is just trying to do his job. We understand Ethan Hunt doing his thing. We understand
Shea Wiggum is what's his face's son.
He's Jim Phelps II.
Yeah, like that was, I didn't see coming.
I think that's just like because obviously we know the.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Well, I think we went over it, but like the original show was all about Jim Phelps and his team, and then that's why everyone was mad in the first one in '96 when they just made him the villain. Mm-hmm. And so there's a little bit of a gray area. Like, does he believe that Ethan had to kill him because he was the bad, that he was the bad guy, and like. So that's another plot line that's just kind of thrown in there, like, again, not resolved. So this script is a bit of a mess, and I'm sad about that because they had a while to write this one.
$400 million, Danny.
I wonder what happened.
This movie needs at least $1 billion to even break even. Yeah. And it's not going to get it.
Nah, yeah.
I think after this first weekend, it's going to be very good in this first weekend.
We saw a Thursday showing. Mm-hmm. It was pretty packed, I'd say.
Yeah, 9:45 at night after we both worked all day. It was fun.
And IMAX too. So like
IMAX was a good idea. It was a great idea to see it in IMAX.
No, yeah, like obviously they get the spectacle right in this one. Mm-hmm. Christopher McQuarrie knows what he's doing behind the camera.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not behind the writer's pen though.
Did he write it? Okay, yeah. So, but he wrote all the other ones, and like the other ones were great too.
I know.
So
I don't know what happened. Like, did Tom just keep saying like, "Oh, we got to add this, and that"? Like, was it like?
I don't know. Maybe it just got away from him, I guess. And like
he's not working on anything else though. I don't think.
No.
I mean he might be. He doesn't have to with that. These 4 Mission Impossible.
He's working on The Mummy too.
Oh dear Lord! Don't say that. Hold on. I need to look this up and see if he's actually working on anything else, or at least while this was going on.
I don't know. Oh, also. Side note, I saw this. I went to see Final Destination Bloodlines yesterday.
Oh yes, we need to talk about that, but not right now.
I don't get why everyone likes it, but there was like this weird ass trailer. I think it was called The Ritual, starring Al Pacino, and it had what's his name, Patrick.
I don't know, but anyway.
It had like a decent cast in there.
Okay.
And I'm like, why Al Pacino? So Al Pacino's playing this priest, and like it looked so really like low budget. Like the camera was very like we could have filmed
like Blair Witchy or like
we were. It's like student filmmakers trying to make a film, but like this is like a legit camera angle, right? But it's looks off and weird and not graded or correctly. So I'm like, why is Al Pacino in this? Because it's the movie that the case that inspired the X. I'm like, this is so weird. It aired before the actual commercials for the theater. Weird. Like like you get your soda.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It aired before that.
That's weird.
I mean, that's my biggest downside is it's always just gonna come back. There's way too much clunky exposition just in here.
Yeah, and let's start talking about that. So the movie starts with the AI just talking and kind of expo dumping.
Like it's like, this is my plan for my world domination. I'm going to kill the human race with the...
Yeah, because it was kind of like a rabbit's foot in the last movie. So I
love that part, though.
Yeah.
Them being like, we never found out what the rabbit's foot was. That's what the rabbit...
Yeah.
That was a great twist. I like that.
That was very well done. And... props to J.J. Abrams for never revealing that because they made it work for this final reckoning. And if that works, good, cool, love that.
Props to J.J. Abrams for being incompetent on his job. I don't know how to write an ending. Well, just not. do it.
No, then maybe props to him for actually doing his job because that's all he does. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't deny he's great at asking great questions. Horrible at answering
execution.
them. Oh my god.
But yeah, so the rabbit's foot comes back, and so does the guy from the very first Mission Impossible.
Yeah, with the guy,
the guy who was throwing up and going back and forth.
Yeah, Dunlow.
Yeah, Dunlow. Yeah.
And like I felt bad for the guy because he was like that was his only job. He just had to watch the
he
ball.
got sent to fucking Alaska.
Yeah, poor guy.
Or what it was called, the island.
I just remember Sosis.
Fuck, it was the island. Whatever. It was an island up near Alaska, the Russian border with Alaska. So, yeah, this movie had a lot of just missiles, like looking at missiles with different flags on them. It's like, okay, that was all part of this expo dump in the beginning too. It's like, okay, yeah, we get it. It's a doomsday clock. Okay, and you don't need to keep bringing it up, man.
It's just like it's hard for me to criticize because it's like there's other properties that do pretty much exactly the same thing, and I'm like, yeah, that works. For some reason, it just doesn't work in this one because we go from the end of part 1 or Dead Reckoning, it'd be like, oh no, I don't know why we're sad because we got the key, but the entity got away. I guess like that's the issue. It's like, oh, we have this other issue, but then they explain it in like the first 10 minutes of this one that. We've had a time jump and everybody knows what the entity is.
Yeah, it's a 2-month time jump.
Everyone's like we're not sure what to believe.
It's all a Cold War at this point, with literally like the very edge of the Cold War, like say the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's like that type of thing.
Yes,
but all over the world.
When to their credit, I felt the tension there. I'm like, okay, anything could go off at any point.
Like all these missiles are going offline. These nuclear weapons are all going offline one by one, and they have like 3 days to get through everything, basically. The one part the one thing I don't like about this movie is, you know how Mission Impossible is all about teamwork. They're all working together, and they're split up in this movie, and it's kind of annoying. That's not what Mission Impossible is.
Yeah. Like, that was another thing where I'm like, this is the first one where they're like, I understand the stakes are dire enough where they have to work in this.
In the blink of an eye.
Well, maybe that's why they made her a pickpocket in the first one.
I mean, or that wasn't even like a thing. They didn't even think that far ahead, which I don't think they thought that far ahead.
I definitely believe there has to have been a different movie than this one. Something must have happened.
Well, part 2 was going to happen, and then maybe there was like, you know what? Dead Reckoning didn't make enough money, so they need to combine this with the possible end for Ethan Hunt. And I don't know.
But at the same time, they didn't even really do that.
No, they did not. But we'll get to that. There's this whole part where does Ethan get kidnapped in the beginning, and that's when he has to save Luther? I forget how that even happens, how that even transpires. Like,
what happens is they meet Luther. He makes a poison pill. I guess he's sick. I didn't know that.
They didn't mention that in the first part.
He's in a hospital bed.
He's
I'm like,
sick now? Okay. It's only been 2 months, but okay, sure. Why not?
From what?
I don't know, but I leaned over to you. I was like, he's dead.
Yeah. The second he's just like, Ethan's like, oh, I couldn't do it without you, Luther. You're the greatest asset. He's just some bullshit like that.
I'm just like,
he's so fucking dead, dude.
But not in the way we think. So yeah, Gabriel. He was chasing Gabriel or something. I don't remember how it transpires.
They're trying to track down Gabriel. They go to a gala. It's kind of classic Mission Impossible. They're talking the headphones, and then they instantly get caught. And then I love how they don't even they just cut right to the party. They don't even get any of the bullshit about how to get in.
There's a lot of that just cutting to certain things in this movie.
I loved it because it was like in any other movie that would like in Mission Impossible 3, like that's like a good half hour of like, how do we get inside? How do we get Owen Davian? How do we get
how do we get into the Vatican?
How do we do all this bullshit?
Yeah.
This one's just like we're already there, and then stupid switching, and then we get Gabriel's team is onto him, and then they just instantly the police are onto him. because he's like public enemy number one.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The IMF kind of wants to track him down because he's rogue again. Oh my God, who would have guessed?
Yeah. So yeah, because he's been in the shadows again for the last 2 months, kind of with this key for the sub.
He has the key that could basically
save humanity.
Yes, and they're like, America's like, give it to us, please. And Ethan's like, no. And then Grace shows up, pickpockets everybody. I thought it was really cool. She's like, I didn't even see you take that one. And so then they kind of covertly just like usher these guys into like this little closed off area, and then like just knock them out. But then
that's right. Yeah,
Gabriel gets a hold of them. That's when I think, then they end up being chained up and stuff.
Oh yeah, and then Ethan literally kills 2 people like very brutally off screen, while Grace is just like, "Oh my God, what is happening?"
Which like interesting.
It reminded me of the Bone Doctor. I was like, "Oh my God."
I was confused because it's like they never show that kind of side. We're never supposed to be scared of Ethan. We're never like, oh, he can butcher people. They've never shine a light like that. And like, it's kind of played for comedy. He's like, yo, Grace, we really need to go.
Yeah, because it's so comical. Nobody would think it would ever happen. Yeah. And then
you
like,
see the cleaver in the guy's back and shit.
See, that worked really well. I liked that. Ethan sees the tank that Gabriel has been talking to the entity in. So after a foot chase with Gabriel, and he goes inside it and talks to the entity.
Right.
And then the entity's basically like, yeah, bro, you got to give me this key. You got to give me this key, man.
This is your only play. And like, I get it's a bit convoluted of like you have to explain a lot of things. And it does make sense with it makes like the logic of it, like, okay, he can't do this because he can't because of this, and he can't do that because of this. And it makes sense, but it's like I just wanted a way. Like, I don't think the audience was thinking of a few different, at least I wasn't thinking of a few different solutions he might have had. That he's just like, we can't do that because of, and like, it's just like explaining, like.
It's just a lot of talking, a lot of explaining. It's like, okay.
Just like, so, it's grinded to a halt. Like, already a 3-hour movie. Like, come on, guys.
So Gabriel has escaped at this point, and he has found Luther. And
Luther's stupid.
Luther's like just lying in his hospital bed or whatever. And
he's just like, I guess I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk into this closed off area where there's a bomb.
Yeah, it wasn't even explained like what was in that area or what he was working on. It was very just quick, like a cut to it. It's like, what? Like, what? How did we get here? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, he just wakes up and walks to the bomb, and then it's just like so easy to trap.
And then Gabriel traps
this veteran of the IMF. Like,
but I think maybe it was Luther's plan all along, because like now. Gabriel has that key, so, and he knows the entity already knows Gabriel is like done. So like, no, Gabriel has gone rogue to the entity. So
yeah, because he failed in the last one. Yes, that makes sense to me.
And then Luther has this bomb in there with him, and it has like 2 minutes by the time Ethan gets there. And Ethan has 2 minutes to say goodbye, and it takes like 20 minutes.
I do not understand how that works
because plot. So. Ethan says his goodbyes to Luther, and it doesn't feel like it should be the goodbye to Luther. It's very just quick and just Luther's been there 8 movies with Ethan. Like, he's been in all 8 movies. It's like that should be a bigger goodbye than what we got. It's kind of just unfortunate and just dry. It doesn't come off as. I don't know. It doesn't come off right to me. And I want him to die.
He's not going to get the whole. I think maybe it would have been like a. I don't know, maybe have Gabriel like poison him or something. And like he's slowly dying and Ethan has to like hold his hand while he dies or something. Yeah, like, now that the poison pill's gone.
It's one of his best friends. Like, man, that's it. Ethan has to bring this key to he has to go underwater to find the submarine from the first one. And he has to get this recording device from underwater.
I think it's like the source code for the
source
entity.
Code. Yeah.
There's a whole lot of stuff in between. I like the paranoia between that the president, Angela Bassett, was going through.
Yeah, she's president now. Yeah, cool.
Like,
hell yeah.
See, yeah, it's because I was thinking, because at the end, I think I mentioned it last time, like, wasn't she the head of the CIA? And then in the next
in Fallout, she wasn't in Dead Reckoning. I'm pretty sure.
Right? No, she wasn't. But then Carrie Elwes is the director of the CIA. I'm like, That's the same
What
job.
happened here?
Wait a minute. So now she's the president. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. They have a whole meeting with we get Holt McCallany in there. We get Nick Offerman as a general. We get Janet McTeer, I believe, in there as well. So we get that's the whole
Mark Gaddis.
Mark Gaddis. Yep.
What's his name? Mycroft Holmes.
Yeah. So we see all of them as the cabinet, I guess you would say in this case. They're all paranoid, whatever. They have 3 days to basically okay, do we nuke Russia or do we nuke all these other places and save the United States? Or do we, I don't know where this part came from. They nuke part of the United States. What was that all about?
Like a peace offering.
Okay.
Because all the other countries understand the situation that they don't know. Nobody knows what's going to be going on. So what they're going to do is that they have to, it's their only option in order to not get the entity to kill everybody and start a war. They're going to sacrifice one of their own cities, which we never found out what city it was. I thought was smart. You don't want to single out.
Very smart. We don't need that.
We
right
all
now.
know it would be Tallahassee, but they
okay.
It's like a peace offering. Hey, Russians, we know the situation. Sorry about that. Here's one of our cities. Don't bomb us entirely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was a cool it was cool, but it was kind of convoluted again.
But also by the end of it, I want that secret to get out and just be this is the worst. She was gonna bomb us, yo.
All right, we've talked about enough bad things. Let's talk about some good things. Let's talk about these big set pieces. So Ethan goes underwater. He meets Katie O'Brien and then a bunch of these people. Somebody tries to kill him in a submarine. He doesn't get killed. He has the suit that can take him up to 500 meters, whatever, underwater in the Arctic and he's got all these things that can happen to him. As he gets deeper, he's gonna get dizzy. His muscles are gonna he's gonna lose control of his muscles. He's gonna have all these things happen to him.
Right.
Oh my God.
That sounds like an impossible mission.
Yeah, it sounds like an impossible mission. So he goes under.
Yeah.
He gets hit by the Russian submarine following them.
Yeah, which
I was all right, we're starting off great.
It makes
here.
you think it's
yeah.
That's what submarines got to deal with. They know it's stop following us.
Yeah.
He was they were
it was
up
pretty
their
close
ass.
behind.
Yeah.
It was it was there, man.
Get some rear view mirrors or whatever.
Yeah. So he finds the submarine. And, all right. Meanwhile, while this is happening, the other team B with Haley Atwell, or Grace, Benji, and this other guy they just meet, they're all up on the island meeting with that guy from the first movie, whatever his name is.
Dunlow, I think.
Dunlow, yeah, we'll go with that. And his wife. And they're being held captive by these other...
the Russians.
The Russians.
Because they're... they're okay, we understand that they have the same idea, basically.
Mm-hmm.
There's the crash in 2012, which I didn't understand the Sevastopol was in 2012. Did they tell us that?
They did not.
Okay, so that...
Until this movie.
So that happens. They're okay, this outpost station must have heard the sonar event or whatever.
And then a month later, these Russian soldiers showed up and took control as a base of operations here.
Right. Oh no, it was Kariowis. It was the CIA.
You're right. It was yeah.
I guess that's his only scene in the movie.
I guess
he doesn't even say anything.
Oh well. So there's a battle that ensues there. The place goes up in flames. All the good people survive.
Right.
And
which I don't understand because there's a good 20 minutes or whatever that they're probably in universe just talking to the guy. They're can we get these coordinates?
Yeah.
And then he's I remember them.
Bro, why didn't you say that earlier?
Before the Russians showed up, dude.
God.
What the fuck?
And then, all right, so we see Grace and that guy's wife. They are on the sled dog. They go out to the ice to try to find the location where Ethan's going to be. What the fuck happens to the rest of them?
They just kind of... they don't have any shelter because the house burned down.
Yeah, where are they going to go?
The middle of the Arctic.
Where the
Maybe
fuck are they
they're
going to
just
go?
chilling in the dog shed or something until... Yeah, how do they meet up again?
That was weird, right? All right. Okay. Anyway, let's say we already know some weird plot things are going on in this movie. So let's move on to back to Ethan. Ethan's underwater. He finds the sub. He's crawling through this sub little by little. And as the water is going into the sub, it starts going down this cliff.
Yeah, it starts rolling. So he's trying to, and then all the torpedoes are there.
Oh my God, he's swimming through literal torpedoes.
Actual nukes just right there.
He gets into the vault eventually, pretty easily gets the source code.
Yeah, I was expecting kind of like, because the whole last movie was built up on getting the keys. I was expecting some sort of like he puts it in. Mm-hmm. No, it's just kind of like, that's it.
Yep. So he gets that. He's on his way out. He encounters a few obstacles on his way out, like the door getting jammed by a torpedo. He decides to go through a torpedo channel to escape.
Which, and this is the dumb thing, because my brain was already like going like, that's a torpedo like thing. Did you have to say torpedo tunnel or whatever? Like he says it. And that's the thing about the exposition. Just like, we're not stupid. Yeah. We know what's happening.
The audience is not stupid.
And they should have.
And so but he can't fit through with all of his equipment. So he takes it off in the middle of the Arctic in very cold fucking water.
Yeah.
My God.
Hypothermia. Add that to the list.
Dude, immediately. That's immediate hypothermia.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way he survives going back to the top. And Haley Atwell finding him.
He's 500 meters below sea level.
At minimum.
Yeah. So one, hypothermia immediately when you take off your suit. So he kind of pushes like the little breathing apparatus, but then the Sevastopol goes into the ditch, and then the little tube thing gets caught, so he has to get rid of the breathing device. You're 500 meters below sea level. Like, I can't hold my breath for more than a minute. There's no fucking way.
I mean, sure, Tom Cruise is trained for this, but even if it's Ethan Hunt, no way.
There's no way you can get above water.
There's so many
500 meters in under, let's say 5 minutes. Like, just,
crazy.
There's no way.
Crazy.
And you already have hypothermia.
And you're gonna get the bends. You're gonna get the bends. Yeah. Like, dude, like you're fucked.
That's the only one. Like, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. And then he's like, I guess drowns or whatever. And then he kind of chills in the ice on top of the ice. That's a cool shot.
Conveniently, Dunlow's wife has a tank to relieve him from the bends.
Oh, well, they set that up. Benji set that up.
They did. Yeah. Okay.
Because they're like, okay, that's the plan is we're going to find him in the ice.
Yes. Okay.
The thing is, though, like,
my God,
I just don't because I've seen videos of like I'm pretty sure it's a Russian training technique. They cut a hole in the ice on one end and cut a hole in the other ice, and it's all controlled, and they literally have a rope that you can follow, and it's like they're only swimming like 20 feet, and they still get lost underneath that ice. I just don't buy that. I just don't buy it. It's just,
Yeah, no, there's no way, just no way. Then they realize they have to go to Africa to find the Doomsday Vault. So that's the next part we have to talk about. So they're all there. He's looking like fucking Indiana Jones ripoff here, first of all. This looks like a whole Indiana Jones team.
Oh, yeah.
This is wild there. I was like, okay, now we're adding this into it.
He's literally got a hat and everything. Or Simon Pegg's got like a
Simon Pegg's got a hat, yeah. And Ethan's got like a brown jacket on.
Yeah,
so I'm like, Jesus Christ. So there's a bomb in the middle of this place. Gabriel is out in the distance. He's like, oh, I got somebody with their hand on the trigger. If I do this, it's going to start a countdown. Then the CIA comes in out of nowhere.
And they just shoot the guy.
Where the fuck did the CIA come from? Like, that was very quick.
Yeah, I don't know. And like the president doesn't seem to really know about it.
Like,
she didn't mention it.
Like, okay. Yeah.
Or no, it was Kittredge, I think.
It was
Kittredge. Yeah, Kittredge.
No.
So he's not the CIA.
Yeah, well, it was Kittredge and it was, what's his face?
Shea Wiggum,
yeah.
But then Gabriel's team surprises them.
Jr.
Oh, yeah, Jim Phelps Jr.
Yeah.
He comes around and he does it, and they get the upper hand on them, even though they already got the upper hand than the other guys.
All right, well, in any case, Ethan chases Gabriel. The other team is now back in the vault. They have to put the there's this whole other thing where the gold thing. What the fuck is that? It was a.
It was a 5-dimensional hard drive. Okay. I don't even know what that was.
Sure, a 5-dimensional hard drive with 100 fucking terabytes or whatever of information. I don't know what the hell they said.
Yeah, it's just something big enough to store the entity on.
Yeah, so you have to put that into this system while cutting all these wires and remove it in the blink of an eye once Ethan gets the drive from Gabriel.
Yes.
Okay, so Ethan has to get this within 20 minutes while Gabriel is in a plane, and Ethan grabs onto the second plane that Gabriel ordered just in case the first plane blew up. Ethan sees this, so Ethan runs after the plane, doesn't catch it, ducks, grabs onto this other plane. His arms would have been ripped out of his fucking sockets.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I could not.
He's just like, what is that? Oh shit! And then
I could not believe it anymore at that point. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I would like, because he does some insane shit like this in the other movies, like, and like I think this plane thing was kind of a callback to Fallout with the 2 helicopters.
A little bit, yeah, I'm sure.
Like, he literally climbs on the plane.
Yeah. And it's really cool. It's a very cool stunt. He's doing these all for real again. He has this harness in front of him so the camera doesn't see it, and he's just rolling around on this plane however many fucking feet up in the air.
Yeah,
and
so
the guy who plays Gabriel is actually driving the plane as well. And well, he's not driving the plane, he's in the plane.
It's kind of like Top Gun Maverick thing where they had like the pilots,
the actual pilot's in a green suit. So he's getting scrubbed out.
That's why there's two bays for them to sit.
Yeah.
So
at one point, after Ethan's tumbling, he has to get to Gabriel's plane. So he knocked out the first pilot of the plane he's on. He gets in the cockpit, realizes, oh, this is the wrong cockpit, slides back to the other one, and then has to try to jump up and go underneath Gabriel's plane while Gabriel doesn't see him. Jump onto that plane. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Well, this is fucking ridiculous.
This is like, for me, this is the type of stunt where I'm like, it's just believable enough.
No, it is not. Are you kidding me? No, it's not.
They already did it in the 6th one. I can't really, because he had to go from one helicopter to another helicopter.
I didn't see the last act, so I don't remember.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
it's literally like the same thing. Like he hijacks the henchman's helicopter.
Okay.
Then literally he climbs up the cargo thing.
Okay. Oh, yes, I do vaguely remember
hijacks that
this.
one, and then rams into Henry Cavill's helicopter.
I do vaguely remember this. Okay. All right.
It's just believable enough for me. I'm like, okay,
sure.
And also, he's doing this for real. Like, I don't buy Tom Cruise went 500 meters in the Arctic.
No, not at all.
And then without a suit or anything. I just don't buy that.
Anyway, so he gets on Gabriel's plane, rolls around on it for a bit, grabs the thing, the drive somehow. I forget. Gabriel, the plane sets on fire. I forget how that happens. Oh yeah, the motor's blowing out. The motor's literally blowing out, so it's on fire.
Yeah.
Gabriel jumps out, gets sliced by the plane and dies immediately.
Yeah, I love how he's like,
it's great.
He's like wrong about like 3 things. Just like, I'm the only one who has a parachute. And then he fucking just gets sawed in the face.
Oh, and I'm like, that was good.
Shit.
That was good.
And then Ethan's just like, oh, there's another parachute right here.
Yep. So
he's gonna take that one.
So he gets it. He's trying to jam this drive into the source code. And he's like, fuck it, I'll do it later. So he jumps out of the plane. The parachute's on fire.
Yeah, it's so then he starts plummeting, and you think he's gonna die. But I'm thinking, as he's falling, I'm like, they make two parachutes in the parachute as a backup because they typically fail.
And not a lot of people know that. So that I didn't know that. I was like, no way.
Yeah,
and now that you're explaining this, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, sure.
But that's the thing, like, like, we're not stupid. We understand, like, and
then Luther's doing his whole voiceover while this is happening too.
Yeah, they set that up and say, I left a little present for you.
Yeah.
Ethan.
This is your impossible mission. That kind of stuff.
Should you choose to accept it?
I was just like,
if you're hearing this, that means we won. I knew you always gonna find a way.
And so he with literally 3 seconds to spare, again, of course. Yeah. The thing lights up green. Hey, that was like, really quick. And it's like, holy shit, we did it. And everybody's like, oh, yeah. It's a very quick. It's not a quick ending. It's a long, stretched out ending with all the missiles going offline, yada, yada,
Benji
yada.
got shot.
Oh, yeah. Benji got shot. He didn't die.
They got to do some.
They were literally trying to. They had to unpuncture his lung. Yeah, so that happens. And
they add a little comedy. It's just like, whatever you do, don't cut. And then he's like, Benji, all right, don't cut the red one.
And then, what's her face is like pulling on his ear. Okay, yeah, you got to do that. Yeah. Like, that was good. The tension was real in this movie, and it worked well at certain points. But at some point, man, like, this is the most convoluted plot in the entire franchise.
Yeah.
And the most impossible of the entire franchise. So I'm like, okay,
what they're gonna
that's
go
fair.
for,
They had to go for it.
It's just too much going on.
Yeah.
And you needed a couple more rounds in the writer's room, which is a lot of times with a lot of movies. Like, if it's usually bad, it's usually in the writing.
But I knew they knew they had to get this out, and they had to. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate, and because like this might be the last one that at least Tom Cruise does. They didn't. I'm actually surprised they didn't set up Haley Atwell or Simon Pegg. Maybe they set up Simon Pegg a little bit to be the new Ethan Hunt, but I was really expecting Haley Atwell.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're setting up any of them couldn't basically take the mantle at this point.
Yeah, well, Tom Cruise, he was like literally like, take care of your team. He said that a couple times.
Yeah, he did say it a couple times to Benji.
But Benji, he doesn't come off like that. He still seems like he's still going to be the loyal friend, right?
And also, they didn't show Ilsa at all in those flashbacks, and that was just like a fuck you to her. I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't they? She was such a big part of this franchise.
She was my favorite part of 5 and 6, and like the disrespect,
absolute disrespect to Rebecca Ferguson. I don't know if there was like if it was like anything bad between all of them, or
from what I've seen in interviews, I think I'm not sure if it was her choice or not.
She's just busy.
Yeah, I mean, she did 2 seasons of Silo.
She did 2 Dunes.
Yeah, I forgot she was. Yeah. That's how good of an actress she is.
Like,
I just thought she was that character.
Yeah, like, I'm sure she's busy. That's fine.
Oh yeah, is she gonna be in Dune Messiah? She probably is.
I think so. Yeah. Anyway. All right, we're wrapping this one up. So let's go back to our final rankings here. So you had choice number 7 left.
Yeah. It's not that
I think
bad.
your list is much better than mine because I had to put this one at 2, unfortunately. Yeah. So, I fucked that up real good. I should have switched what I had because I put 7 at 7. I should have switched. I shouldn't have put it there. I wouldn't have put Dead Reckoning at 2 either, but like...
Yeah. So I think like if I was going to actually rank this, I think this 8th one would probably be 5th or 6th. That's unfortunate, I really wanted to like this one.
I don't know. I think
just weak.
I think I'm putting this one at 7th.
7th. Interesting.
Just because, like, after looking at all of these, I'm like, okay, I really like 1. 2 is still the worst. 3 was fun. 3's a fun ride. I like 3. 4, it was the first one I ever saw. I have like...
Right, it was redonkulous.
It's redonkulous. 5, I liked a lot better on these rewatches. I really liked this, the 5, actually.
5 was the first one I saw.
Yeah. Fallout, great. Dead Reckoning, yeah, these last 2 have not been great for Mission Impossible, unfortunately.
I liked the first one. It had its charm. I really liked that train sequence at the end. I really liked Haley Atwell, or Grace's character.
Oh, yeah, they never brought Vanessa Kirby back in this movie.
Oh, yeah, they
White
did.
Widow, yeah. They didn't bring her back either.
There was a whole... Yeah, it had a lot more spunk
Maybe
to
they're
it.
going to make a spin-off of White Widow.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't want to.
She could be cool. She could be cool and all. All right, so Mission Impossible, the final reckoning. What are you going to give it?
Ooh, I'm going to give it... It sucks, but... I think I'm going to give it a 75.
A 75? Yeah, that's a good number for it. Like, it's a fun ride. There's 2 really good sequences in this movie, and I'm going to give it a 78. Like, it's not quite an 80. The writing is very over the top, convoluted mess, but it's still fun. And I don't know if these scenes necessarily make up for it, but it's still a fun ride. We're Seen It Before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle @SeenItBeforecast. That's SCENE, It Beforecast. And you can find me on Letterboxd with @DonutMan96.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram @Danny_Was. My letterbox is serialized @DJ Was, or on my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was. What do we have next? I don't even think we have anything really planned next. Open it up. Come on, what are you doing?
So we don't have anything on the schedule as of now.
Probably
so let's
fucking
think of
Superman or some shit.
No, let's think of some movies that are upcoming. Let's I don't know. Well,
Weapons.
we're gonna do Weapons. We're gonna do
Weapons.
Superman. We're gonna do Fantastic Four coming this summer. Not sure what's gonna happen in June. There are some movies that are coming out that are cool. We're not sure if we're going to do them yet, though. We might just need a break because we got a big Duel of the Debates special if you watch those coming in July. So, end of June and July, probably.
It's going to be ambitious.
Yes, it is ambitious. A bracket challenge, some would say. A little late for bracket season, but, it's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you next time.